Thank you to Gammastar for this video idea. In what is undoubtedly the most ambitious challenge for me yet, I am going to see how long it takes for me to fill up my entire museum starting from a brand new island. That includes 80 fish, 80 bugs, 40 sea creatures, 73 fossils, and 43 pieces of art, making for a total of 316 things that I need to donate. While finishing even one of those collections is difficult enough, we're going to be time traveling through several months simultaneously looking for parts to all 5 exhibits, and donating things as we go. I don't think that I need to explain how difficult, if not time consuming, that this will be, so let's just get started, because I think we're going to be here for a while. 3, 2, 1... go. While I am going to try to do this as fast as possible, this will by no means be a speedy run. There's no way around this run taking many hours and many days to complete. It's just the nature of something this arduous. I will keep a timer up here though in the top right, along with a counter to show my progress as I go. Like I said earlier, we must start from a new island. This isn't an official category in Animal Crossing New Horizons speedrunning, but in every other category it requires you to start fresh, so that's what I'll do as well. I'll be starting on the 1st of January, the reason being is that I want to start this challenge at the beginning of the year and slowly tick off creatures as they come throughout the months. So once we catch everything in January, then we'll move on to February, and then March, and then so on. I fully acknowledge the fact that this isn't the most efficient way to do this run, but with the amount of things that we have to collect, planning the most efficient route for this will be a nightmare, so this is just to keep it as simple as possible. I'm trying to look at the one that has like the most like rivers that are on elevated parts of the land, and I would probably say that this one would qualify for that, so sure, let's go this one. Nothing special to the early game at all, really. Just do the tasks that are assigned to you by Tom Nook as fast as possible, making sure to pick up some extra sticks to make some flimsy tools later on so that we can get a jump start on catching bugs and fish. Yo, Kevin and Flo? That ain't bad, dude. That ain't bad at all. This is not a complicated speedrun with a lot of tech and mechanics to explain, but allow me a minute to explain the total catch requirement mechanic. In the early game, I'm going to be catching every single bug, fish, and creature that I possibly can, even if I've already caught them before. The reason why is because some creatures have a total catch requirement, or more simply, a minimum amount of creatures that need to be caught before that creature starts to spawn. This is mostly based on rarity. Rarer bugs like the Hercules beetle takes catching 100 bugs before it begins to spawn, the saddled bee shear requires 20 fish to be caught before it spawns, and basic creatures like the sea bass, common butterflies, and the seaweed, for example, will spawn from the start of the game. So that's why I'm starting out by catching everything that I can, to get the rarer stuff to spawn as soon as possible. You're witnessing the first of 316 collectibles right there, okay? 5 creatures donated to Tom Nook will pique Blathers' interest to set up his tent on the island. Part of the process of filling up your museum is to, of course, have the museum built. Anyway, you might think that because we're focused on filling up the museum that we might not need to do things like pay off our first home loan, but it's actually a requirement. Reason being is that we need to build Nook's Cranny later on to get Daisy May to start selling turnips. Turnips, rotting ones specifically, will spawn ants and flies. Since we're starting in January, here's a list of all the fish, bugs, and sea creatures that we need to catch this month. Many of these creatures are available all year round, but I want to do them in January so that I don't have to worry about them later. So if it seems like a lot, well, it is. But this includes stuff that we could theoretically catch later on that I would rather take care of now. Some notable creatures on this list are the stringfish, the barrel eye, the tarantula, the red king crab, among others that will be quite difficult as well. So we're going to be spending a lot of time in January, rest assured. The museum tent is now built, and Blathers will teach us the recipe for a vaulting pole that will allow us to cross the river and dig up some fossils for some easy donations. Fossils are a nice passive way of getting donations, but of course as time goes on, we'll inevitably have a few nagging fossils that we still need to find and donate. But we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. Yeah. Oh, and I got a fossil as well. Okay, let's donate that. It's also worth noting that artwork will be quite a pain to acquire. I plan on doing that at the end of the run, so I won't go into too many details as to how I'm going to tackle that, but Red should start showing up as soon as I've donated 60 things to the museum, and we'll stop by whenever we can. I'd like to donate. Alright, so I should just need the iron nuggets, which I do have, so. We've gathered the necessary materials for the shop, so that'll be ready to go in a few days. Daisy May will start coming to my island every Sunday morning, so we'll be sure to pick up a few turnips when we can. We're also gonna find some spots for house plots. It seems pointless, but we need the recipe for the ladder, which we can only acquire by placing down these plots. I don't plan on furnishing them, although I wonder if doing so and having more villagers move in would make it easier to get the flea, perhaps? Oh well, that's a problem for future Dagnel. Current Dagnel, however, now has the museum fully built, so this comes with the convenience of being able to donate in bulk, which will be quite handy on a run like this. The rest of day 1 is pretty much going to be spent catching as many things as possible to meet the total catch requirement of some of the rarer creatures. But that's not to say we still haven't made good progress. We got a couple of decently rare creatures, along with getting most of the year-round stuff out of the way as well. One final thing I'm going to do today is to buy some red roses from Leaf. These red roses should hopefully breed into black roses for the purposes of spawning a peacock butterfly later on. Day 2 begins. Today's goal is to get through most of the catches that we still need in January. We still have quite the grocery list of things to catch, and by this point we've caught enough creatures to hopefully get some rare stuff to spawn as well. We'll start out though, as I do with every new day that we time travel to, by circling the island and digging up whatever fossils I can. We're still at the point where most of the fossils that we need are ones that need to be donated still, but we won't be so lucky forever. Each and every one. Okay, so that's 5 more. Beautiful. The typical threshold for when the rarest stuff starts to spawn is 100 of that respective creature. For example, 100 fish to start spawning the really rare fish. Let's check where we're at so far. That's 86, so 14 more fish before every single fish is able to start spawning. Something cool happened during day 2 that isn't really relevant to the run, but a cool accomplishment nonetheless. Check your email. You're invited to the Twitch Partner Program. Oh! Thank you. Thank you to everybody who helped me achieve that goal. Enough about that, though. We're past 100 fish now and looking to start checking off some of the really uncommon catches. The rarest fish that I've caught so far is the football fish, which is decently rare, but not all that impressive. Our luck will soon change, though. 4 fish. Nice. Alright, sweet. 39? A good idea for ocean fishing specifically is to gather manila clams along the way and check your shores for any fish that you need. Fish bait is something that I anticipate needing a lot of for this challenge, especially for those fish that are hard to get. Or, more specifically, the ones that spawn in weird places like on your docks or in your ponds. Since these spawning spaces are so small and specific, you really don't find many fish there, and if it's a particularly rare fish on top of that, you might be waiting for a while. So despite the fact that I hate crafting fish bait, it'll make this challenge so much easier in the long run. Alright, I guess I'm just gonna sit here and press A for the next 80 hours. Isn't this fun, how they decided that you don't want to like bulk craft in this game, and you just gotta like kind of sit here and just press A. Isn't this fun? When I was super young, I used to stay up late reading books by super low light, so I screwed up my vision to the point of needing glasses. Not hell yeah to that, but hell yeah to the koi. I finally got around to buying a wetsuit from Nook's Cranny so we can do some diving. Diving works the same way, where we need to catch everything we can for a while in order to get the rare stuff like the lobster and the spider crab to start spawning. Here. Ooh, red king snow crab. Okay, sweet. 54. Nice. That's a rare one. I gotta focus. This fish is big. That's a honker. Tuna, blue marlin. Yes, let's go. Blue marlin. Alright, sweet. That's one tough fish knocked off the list here. And that's the gist of day 2. We're up to 59 total things donated, which is over 18% of the way there. Doesn't sound like much, but nobody ever said that this would be a quick challenge. On to day 3. And we're going to try to hopefully be done with January today. I went into day 3 naively optimistic that I can knock out the rest of the fish, bugs, and sea creatures that we still needed in January. Spoiler alert, we won't. But we will make good progress today, aided by the fact that it's snowing on this particular day. Snow helps with spawning fish, and considering we still have some tough fish to cross off, namely the sturgeon, the stringfish, and the tuna, it should hopefully help us quite a bit. Snow and a little bit of bait. Let's check in with live Dagnel, who's currently crafting some bait, and see what he thinks of this wonderful process that is bait crafting. Alright, time to sit here and press A, boys. This is my favorite part of the game, is when I just, like, sit here and, like, press A, like, over and over and over again, because I can't, like, craft more than one thing at a time. Very good. And our first round of bait will be used to try to catch a sturgeon right where the ocean meets the river. I usually don't have much trouble with sturgeons, but for some reason today, they aren't my friend. Since we've crossed the 60 donations threshold, Blathers tells us that he's now accepting works of art for the museum. This is great, because the sooner we can get Red to come to our island, the better. Again, we'll worry about the art stuff after we've finished everything else in the museum. Along with fish, we have a couple of sea creatures that are keeping us from moving on as well. Some rare, some not so rare. But the absolute hardest of all the sea creatures this month is probably going to be the sea pig. We've been making good progress today, a couple new catches such as the Venus's flower basket, the pearl oyster, and the abalone, but the sea pig and the red king crab are still no-shows despite our best efforts. I don't know if it's just me, but they like rarely ever actually like listen to me when I say no pickles, so I'll just like take it off after I get it, you know? There's just a point, you know? Thank God, finally we get something new. Lobster. Please? Sea pig? Let's go, dude. Fuck. You know, try to like... Son of a bitch. Finally! Jesus! The luck didn't stop there, though. Okay, that's a sturgeon. Alright, I need full focus on my part here. Full focus. Okay, good. Good. Our total donations by the end of the day winds up being 72. This includes 21 fish, 12 bugs, 20 deep sea creatures, and 19 fossils. No artwork yet, but Red will start to come around soon. Our goals for today, okay? Stringfish, that's the number one. Tuna, secondary, but much appreciated. Anchovy, I don't understand how I haven't gotten an anchovy yet, but if we can get an anchovy today, I'd be very happy. If we get those 3 fish, we can move on to January at 9 a.m. on a Sunday, so that we can buy turnips. And get a pop-eyed goldfish, ranchu goldfish, bluegill, Raja, brook butterfly, pillbug, and then after that, blowfish, barrel eye, spider, tarantula, fly, and ant. So with our goals laid out, we work now towards finishing up the last few fish that are available before we can move to a different time in January. Most of you know this, but we have to time travel not only to different months, but different times within the month to catch all the things that we need. We've been doing this challenge at 4 p.m. in January, but some fish, for example, only spawn in the mornings. So after we get everything done in the evening hours, we're gonna have to time travel to Sunday morning to catch everything available then as well. Plus, we'll have to buy some turnips from Daisy May if we even get to that point today. Whether or not we do is entirely dependent on how lucky we get with catching the tuna, the stringfish, and the anchovy. But before we worry about that, though, we have a very important visitor. Oh, yes, I do need to talk to you because I'm gonna need to get the paintings occasionally. Yes, this is actually great that you showed up here. No? I say no! Yeah, sure? He gave us a twinkling painting, which is always real, so this marks the inaugural donation to the museum. 1 of 44 art pieces done. After gathering a little bait, I'm off to the pier to look for a tuna. Is this bigger than a sea bass? I have no idea. I better not choke this, though. I choked it. I fucking choked it. Whenever I say to myself that I can't choke it, I always end up choking. I like scare myself. Do y'all get jumpy thumb when you fish as well? Because every time, dude, I gotta like close my eyes. My heartbreak was quickly alleviated and we got the tuna, a major goal accomplished for today. Got it. Tuna. Freaking go! Freaking go! Anyways, I'm happy to report that I got a stringfish. I said, I'm really happy to report that we got a stringfish. God damn it! In brighter news, I have collected 200 manila clams now. Here's to 200 more. Since I have no luck with the stringfish, I'm gonna take a break from it temporarily to skip to Sunday morning. Again, the main thing that we need to do is buy turnips from Daisy May and let them rot to spawn ants and flies. We also need a few things that spawn in the morning hours, like the Ranchu goldfish and the Raja Brooks birdwing butterfly, and the bluegill, just to name a few. You won this round, stringfish, but I'll be back.
Anchovies.
Yeah, I'll buy 'em. We'll just let those sit there and rot for a little while. Red returns for another visit, so let's check out his wares. Alright, let's see what's real, what's not. Mona Lisa, does she have resting bitch face? Yeah. Resting bitch face Mona Lisa is fake. Thin water stream, that one's real. Coffee stain is fake. This is the only real one, I believe. So that's 2 paintings donated as soon as that comes in the mail. Now, let's focus on some more sentient donations. I need a Popeye goldfish and I need a Ranchu goldfish. Maybe, that's one bigger, I think, right? That's one bigger. Close my eyes, because this guy's kind of tough. Ranchu goldfish, done and done. Not bad at all, actually. After making a few more donations to Blathers, we're on the tail end of January with only a handful of creatures left to donate. The only thing that's really holding us up, though, is the stringfish. It's one of many fish that I anticipate giving us a lot of trouble over the course of this run, but it's getting a little ridiculous that at the end of day 4, we haven't even come close, it seems. To think, we still have the coelacanth, the barrel-eye, the golden trout, the mahi-mahi, and many, many others to catch. Wait, you're here again? You're here again? Yeah, he just is. Oh, he's just back. Okay, well this one's always real, so sure, let's do it. With day 4 wrapped up, we now have 90 total things donated. We've cracked into the art section with 2 pieces donated, along with 27 fish, 13 bugs, 20 sea creatures, and 28 fossils. We interrupt this video with an important news announcement. It's my dog's birthday today. Happy 7th birthday. On to less important matters, we begin day 5. I'm starting today at 9 a.m., still in January. Goals for today. Stringfish, obviously. I've been trying to get the dang old stringfish for days now. Right now, the goal is a Raja Brooks birdwing butterfly. And then after that, we're going to go to 9 p.m. in January. And we're going to try to get a blowfish, a barrel-eye, an ant, a spider, a tarantula, a fly, and a stringfish. Our fossil collection is coming along quite nicely, and I'm no longer at the point where it's basically guaranteed that every fossil I find is one that I need. This will only slow down further as the run goes on, but hopefully we don't get too many fossils holding us up at the end. I also used a Nook Miles ticket to hunt for a Raja Brooks birdwing butterfly, with the unfortunate realization upon arriving that it's snowing. Snow eliminates the chances of most bugs spawning in this game, including the birdwing butterfly, but I will make light of this situation by bringing some flowers back home from the island with the hopes of getting it to spawn back home. The Moody painting and the Quaint painting have arrived in the mail, and we get those donated to Blathers, totaling now to 3 paintings donated. I have no friends and I really want to join people in Animal Crossing. Don't guilt trip me. Progress has sort of grinded to a halt at the 14-hour mark, so I decide to time travel to 9 p.m. a few days later, in hopes of having better luck with some of the nighttime creatures that I need to catch. Alright, so couple bugs that we need to get are the ant, spider, tarantula, and fly. Let's start with the spider. Let's just go around shaking some trees. Also that. Do spiders, spiders exist, right? We do be living in a world with spiders. There we go. Yoink. It seems as though it was worthwhile to skip to 9 p.m. because my luck has turned around quite a bit. Wow. Alright. Take that. Sweet. Oh, dude. Alright, sweet. Alright, yeah. Okay, barrel-eye and blowfish. That didn't take too long. The barrel-eye and the blowfish are 2 catches that I anticipated taking quite a while. Now, if only I had that luck with the stringfish. Another goal of mine during the 9 p.m. time slot is to get a tarantula. I spent another 2,000 Nook Miles to travel to a mystery island, and now what I'm doing is I'm removing all the flowers, the trees, the rocks, and anything else that can spawn bugs that aren't tarantulas. Essentially, I'm going to try to make a normal island a tarantula island. After about an hour, I come to the unfortunate conclusion that the tarantula just hates me. What I really think is the issue, though, is the fact that snowflakes that you see floating around are taking up potential spawning spaces for bugs, since, from what I understand, snowflakes are basically treated as bugs in the game. They fly around, you catch them with a net, boom, that's a bug. So I think we're going to be better off trying to wait until the snow melts and get the tarantula. Oh well. The snow melts on February 25th, so since we have pretty much everything that we need in January at this point, barring the tarantula and the stringfish, we're going to go ahead and skip to about a month later. We don't need much in February, but one of the things we do need is the aforementioned Raja Brooks birdwing, along with the tiger beetle, which is a new spawn this month. Nook's Cranny Remodeling is fantastic news because they sell upgraded tools. Saves a lot of crafting time, you know? Raja Brook, Raja... Ooh, baby! I only had until like 5 o'clock to get one of these, so that's actually kind of nice. I was really not expecting to get one of these. Nice. Been streaming for 4 hours? Crazy, right? Crazy. I don't know who said that they had to get going, but I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it very much. Yes! Yes! Ooh! I knew it. As soon as I laid eyes on it, I tried to keep it low-key. I tried to keep it low-key, dude. I tried not to freak out too much. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Break the fishing rod, brother. Ooh. Ooh. After what feels like forever, we finally got it. 100,000 black basses died in the making of this stringfish, but we got it. And that's day 5 done. I think numbers-wise our progress today wasn't very good, but if you look at some of the creatures that I managed to get, you might understand more easily why I'm proud of the work that we did today. Day 6, and we're now in March. The snow-coated ground turns an olive green, and new creatures emerge amongst the warm air of the spring months to come. I could go on all day about all the new things that appear in the springtime, but a lot of these catches don't really amount to much of note. I'd say the biggest thing that we have to worry about now that we're in March is the golden trout. It's the bane of many people's Critterpedia, and for good reason. Its rarity, combined with the fact that it only spawns in high-elevation rivers, means that it's going to be a big pain to catch. Then again, so did this guy, so yeah. Son of a bitch, dude. Are you serious? Are you fucking kidding me? I spent 5 days trying to get this, John, and I get it when I don't even want it. I mean, I'll take it for the money, you know, it'll go towards buying art later in the run, but fuck's sake, dude. I don't know. I don't know. Whoa! Fuck! Alright, yeah, that's sweet. Okay. Ooh, nice. And then that's a cherry salmon, that's not a char. So now we just need a char, which is sweet. I don't think that that's the case in this game. Alright, we're like getting like a little bit lucky today. I gotta be honest with you, like, I was genuinely expecting a char and a golden trout to be like something that I may not even get today. I would like the audience to know that these 3 fish I anticipated taking quite a while took a total of 2 minutes and 38 seconds. I hope that I don't need to hire a Harvard astrophysicist to defend any cheating allegations. Anyways, we march on and continue collecting all the things that we need this month. A couple of tough benthic creatures that I'll need to get are the spider crab and the umbrella octopus. Naturally, I expect these both to take a long time. Oh my god! Jesus Christ! My luck! This is making up for everything! Jesus God! Let's just call this comeuppance for how long it took to get the stringfish. And besides, we still need the umbrella octopus, but with how lucky we've been getting today, I don't anticipate that taking too long. Damn. 2 spider crabs before I get 1 umbrella octopus. Feels good, man. I didn't quite feel it in my, like, you know, Hollywood mansion over here in the Hollywood Hills, but, yeah, apparently it happened. So what the fuck's up with this? How can you, in good conscience, expect me to get 3 spider crabs for getting 1 fucking umbrella octopus? This is another fucking spider crab, I'm pretty sure, dude. I can't believe I've caught... This is gonna be, like, my 4th spider crab without getting a single umbrella octopus. I'm, like, I'm big mad. I want to let the jury know that I am big mad, okay? After about an hour and a half of looking for the umbrella octopus, I time traveled to tomorrow, erroneously thinking that my luck would be any better under the light of a new day. Okay. Did that water these flowers? Because I would be happy if they did. No, I need that ladybug. Kevin, no, Kevin, I need that. Thank you. A ladybug and an orchid mantis round out today's catches. So at the end of day 6, we fell slightly short of everything that we needed since I never did wind up getting the umbrella octopus, but our progress today was excellent nonetheless. We're up to 36 fish, 25 bugs, 23 sea creatures, 43 fossils, and 3 pieces of art, totaling 130 donations, or just over 41% of the way there. At the start of the next day, we continued the search for the umbrella octopus with the added goal of hopefully getting a peacock butterfly today as well. Problem with the latter creature, however, is that the roses that we planted earlier, those ones that we planted at the beginning of the run, the ones that have just sat there for days now, yeah, they haven't made a black rose yet. You'll recall that peacock butterflies only spawn on black, blue, and purple flowers, so before we get too far into shenanigans today, let's make sure that we're more vigilant in watering these. How many of these? None? 0? Nada? Not a single fossil? Oh, my ass. This is the first day that we actually had no fossils to be donated. Quite unfortunate, however a good sign that fossils are getting close to done. So yesterday's diving session yielded no umbrella octopi, and instead we just end up getting a bunch of spider crabs. Let's hope our luck is a little bit better today. Thank fucking God! Jesus Christ! Jesus! It only took an additional 5 spider crabs, but we did get the umbrella octopus eventually. Knowing my luck, we'll probably get a bunch of these guys showing up later when we don't need them. We did get a mighty haul of bells from all those spider crabs though. Again, this money might be useful later on for buying art. With the umbrella octopus out of the way now, our focus shifts towards the peacock butterfly. I'm gonna do a little time skipping to hopefully get a black rose to spawn. In the same vein of that video I made where I let the flowers spread for an entire year, I'll log on, I'll water the flowers, and then skip ahead another day until I get a black rosebud. Too hard to get. There we fucking go. Alright, so now that that's grown, I think we'll just, like, put it elsewhere. So that's done now. We're going to time travel again, this time to 9 PM in March. It's another simple checklist this time, with the only 2 things needed being the firefly squid and the tarantula. The firefly squid isn't too bad, but you might remember our struggles previously with trying to get the tarantula. Hopefully this time, with the snowflakes gone, it should be easier to trim up a mystery island to spawn tarantulas easier. Or I could just, you know, get the 1% chance of a tarantula island. Wait, dude, this is Tarantula Island! This is Tarantula Island! Dude! Wait! That'll make it easy! Yeah! Well, you know, easy is in the eye of the beholder. Alright, that was easy. Back to diving. School, nice, thank you. Thank you! Sweet. Really feels like we're breezing through these last couple of months, but indeed we're on to April. I made the intelligent decision to not do this challenge during cherry blossom season, as I suspected that cherry blossom petals would give us the same issues as the snowflakes did, in regards to limiting our bug spawning rates. Good job, me, for thinking of that. So I'll list off all the things that we need again. A killifish, a crawfish, a snapping turtle, a guppy, a neon tetra, a seahorse, a clownfish, a surgeonfish, a butterfly fish, a zebra turkeyfish, a common blue bottle, agrius butterfly, Madagascan sunset moth, long locust, darner dragonfly, jewel beetle, flea, lobster, sea pineapple, peacock butterfly. That's the list of things that we need. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. Luckily, most of it's pretty trivial. With the addition of that one black rose, the peacock butterfly proved to be not too difficult either. Wow, dude, that wasn't bad at all. As the summer months arrive, we'll definitely have a greater list of things that we need to catch. Summer seems to be the peak season for most creatures in this game to spawn. So while I can put off a lot of the stuff that I need to catch until later, it's best to do it now. We got some real ass-kicking months coming up, and it's gonna take a lot of time and effort. Oh wait, oh, I got the one for fish. How many is that? Yo, that's 40 fish? Wait, that's kind of a milestone though. That's half the fish. That's now half the fish that we've caught. I'm gonna get another drink of water. And I am going to use the restroom. I'll be right back. Using the restroom in a speed run? Bro, that's time loss. What are you doing? I'll be right back. Finally. Ugh. That's day 7 in the books now, and we've chipped away pretty well at the stuff that we need in April. Not everything, mind you, but a good start. We'll hopefully have April finished up tomorrow. Today's goals: the Madagascan sunset moth, the jewel beetle, and the lobster. Thank God, finally we get something new. Lobster. Why did I think that I still needed a lobster? Either way, we're in April still, and looking to be done so that we can move on to May. Outside of foolishly thinking that we need a lobster, we also need a Madagascan sunset moth, a jewel beetle, and a snapping turtle, which will come out at night. Whatever. I already have a lobster. I already have a lobster. Why did nobody tell me that I already had a lobster? The sting of realizing that I already had a lobster is dulled a little bit, though. Oh, hi. Nice. Amazing. Sweet. Great. Yo, that's everything. We are, like, completely caught up. And with that done, we're off to get a snapping turtle at 9 p.m. During my many rounds on the beach, I've collected a fair amount of bait along the way. The snapping turtle is pretty rare, so I reckon this will come in handy. Before that, though, we made a noteworthy achievement after donating a couple more fossils. We've crossed the halfway mark with 158 out of 316 items donated, which means we're on pace to finish this challenge around the 52-hour mark. I mean, I guess I'll see if I need a moth. I don't know. Do I need a moth? I do. I can't believe I haven't gotten a moth. How the hell have I not gotten a moth? Interesting. No luck with the snapping tort yet, but I did see my first giant water bug. Oh wait, I need this. I need this. Why do I not have this written down? It's not like it's a... Oh, nice. Sweet. Sweet, 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 sweet. Alright, so that's 2 things. Alright, so sweet. We're completely caught up again. And with that, that is the last thing that we needed in April, so we're moving on to May at 9 a.m., and we have quite a list of things to get this month. Frog, nibblefish, betta, rainbowfish, giant trevally, mahi-mahi, great purple emperor, Queen Alexandra's birdwing, banded dragonfly, pond skater, diving beetle, violin beetle, Rosalia patesi beetle, sea urchin, gigas giant clam, spotted garden eel. If we manage to get all those, it's a bit of a stretch. We can move on to May at 9 p.m. and get a catfish, angelfish, scorpion, slate pencil urchin, and a vampire squid. And a stretch that is, as there is no way in heck that I am going to get all of these done today. There is something on that list of creatures, though, that will give me more trouble than anything else that I need to catch in this entire run. Something so rare and hard to catch that the mere thought of this beast makes me shiver in fear. It's not the mahi-mahi, it's not the giant trevally, but it's the dreaded gigas giant clam. I wasn't expecting to get it on the first day that I'm in May, but you'll see soon enough. This thing was easily the hardest thing to catch in the entire speedrun. I jumped into the water at the 29-hour, 17-minute, and 49-second mark of the run to look for it. Keep that in mind for when I finally get around to catching it. Here is a detailed list of everything that happens in between the start of the search for the gigas giant clam and when I ultimately find it. I catch another umbrella octopus. I catch another umbrella octopus right after. 1 minute later, I catch another umbrella octopus. 1 minute and 46 seconds later comes a 4th umbrella octopus. Oh. Caught a lobster again. What the fuck is this? I have never seen this before. Do you want some lobster? Time's ticking, Daniel. What are you doing? We get another umbrella octopus. 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 That's 10 now, by the way. That's 10. Am I doing a good job visualizing the descent into mental anguish? I hope so, because this really sucks. That's 13 umbrella octopi now. 14. 15. Lobster. Pascal visits me. My boy visits me. 1% chance, by the way. The lobster is a 2% chance, and the umbrella octopus is a 3% chance for reference. I don't know what the chances of Great Purple Emperor is, but we got one. We try again the next day. We get an atlas moth. We get an angelfish, a snail, and a coelacanth. We get a scorpion. We got Brewster. Ladies and gentlemen, we get Brewster before we get a Gigas giant clam. That's how long this is taking. Alright, big screen, big screen. Oh! 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 He's there! There's the boy! Oh, son of a bitch! You dirty dogs! Just when you thought I was out, you reeled me back in. Oh my god, a whole direct! Oh my god, a whole direct! A slate pencil urchin, and a vampire squid as well. And then, and only then, do we finally get it. 5.5 in-game hours later. Hey. Some odds and ends finish out what we needed mostly for May, but I reckon to believe that nothing will make us struggle as much in the rest of this run as the Gigas Giant Clam did today. 195 donations to round out what is now day 10 of this challenge. 57 fish, 46 bugs, 31 sea creatures, 59 fossils, and 2 works of art. Anyway, today's goals are a giant snakehead, a piranha, a dorado, a ribbon eel, which I actually think I've already caught, a whale shark, a suckerfish, sea grapes, mussel, gazami crab, that's everything at 9 a.m., which is what we're on now, an arowana, a gar, an arapaima, a saddled bee shear, a saw shark, a hammer shark, a great white shark, a firefly, Goliath beetle, rainbow stag, mosquito, and tiger prawn at 9 p.m. Which maybe we can get to today. June has a lot of stuff that we need to take care of, so we'll see. So indeed, we're now into June, and this is where the run really begins to ramp up, I feel. I went through that list of stuff that we needed pretty quickly, but you might have heard a lot of sharks somewhere in there. Summer marks the beginning of shark season, and getting all of them is going to be quite the painful process. But those aren't the only troubling fish. Other honorable mentions go to the dorado, the arowana, and arapaima, to name a few. We haven't checked in on the Critterpedia app in a while, and this is a nice way to visualize the progress that we've made so far. I mean, I guess this is actually good to, like, go over everything that we've caught so far, if y'all want to get an idea. I don't think I've checked the whole Critterpedia in a while, but you can see behind my stupid, fat, obese skull, we got a barrel eye and a coelacanth, which are huge. And I say that we got, like, over half the fish so far. Like, I think this is easily over half the fish. I think that we're probably getting, if not past the halfway point for the bugs, definitely past the halfway point for the sea creatures. Sea creatures are coming along pretty well, even if this little number right here took me a hot minute or two to get. And by that, I mean, it probably took me around 4 hours. But that's okay. The giant snakehead is a tough catch, so I'm happy to get it now so that I don't have to catch one later. Wait, what are you doing? You should be in the museum, donating it. Dagnel, please, stop. Stop. Stop! Well, I'm sure that that'll be a fun mistake to correct later. In between catching the snakehead and selling it on accident, we got to 50 fish caught in a row. Quite impressive, given my tendency to jump the gun when fishing. I'm getting my shit crossed up, yo. Poggy. Poggy. Didn't even have to use bait. I already know this is gonna be new, ain't it? Ooh. The whale shark marks my 60th unique fish that I've caught. That's 75% of the way done with that section of my Critterpedia. He likes depressing music and movies, but it's just not for me. I like uplifting stuff, but I understand that it's relatable for some peeps, and that's totally fine. Hey, yeah, and again, to each their own. 200. The only other finned fish I need is, ironically, the suckerfish, usually the nuisance of all the anglers out there, but for once, exactly what we need. I'm mad. Like, I want a suckerfish, dude. I want a suckerfish. I want it to be the little thing, the thing that's usually disappointing. That's what I want it to be this time. I don't remember that. Nice. Dude, it is a suckerfish. Let's go. Sweet. I mean, this is the first time I've ever been happy to have a suckerfish over a shark, but I'm happy about it. Took a while, but we did get the suckerfish, and I said earlier that it's possible that we might get to the nighttime catches today, and if we catch everything that we need as far as benthic creatures, then we will. And that list of things that I need from diving really isn't all that bad. Needing only a gazami crab, a mussel, and some sea grapes. I don't know. I feel like the general consensus is that most people wanted a shot for him, but I'm actually quite happy that he's in the museum. I liked it, man. I don't know. I can understand it either way. Nice. A couple of things that come to mind include storing... Amazing. What amazing progress we've made today, dude. Those 3 took less than 10 minutes to get. My luck today has been unusually good. But now we're moving on to June at 9 p.m., and this is where the rest of the sharks come out. Along with a gar and an arowana, this is definitely going to be the tougher of the groups of creatures to get in the month of June. Not the firefly, though, because those things are everywhere. Nice. So nice, we caught it twice. We also managed to get one of the sharks that we needed. Oh, never mind. Okay, focus. Don't talk, just focus. We're back, baby. And I was about to say, that feels like a big fish, man. The school is? Then yeah, maybe you can get away with that, but yes! Fuck off. Saddled bee shear. The gar and the saddled bee shear came quickly enough, so I'm gonna shift my focus to using another Nook Miles ticket in hopes of getting the Goliath beetle and the rainbow stag. Upon arriving at said island, we notice that it's raining. I don't know why, but rain has been showing up at the most inconvenient times in this run. Still, it provides better chances at getting some sharks, and the rainbow stag can still spawn in the rain, so maybe not so bad. Poggy. Anyway, this is gonna be a hammerhead shark, and I'm gonna be happy. Let's go, finally. Yoink. 214. It's gonna bite. It's big. It's a honker. It's... Let's go! And that, friends, is every single shark done. I really wasn't expecting this in the span of just a few hours. Sadly, we do have to leave this island without a Goliath beetle, but that's alright. We're gonna have to do a whole trip to a mystery island next month anyway to catch all the rare palm tree beetles such as the horned Atlas and the horned Hercules and the like. So there's really no harm in waiting until then to get the Goliath beetle. But outside of that, we also never got around to doing some diving at 9 p.m, meaning that we also did not get a tiger prawn. Again though, no big deal, as I reckon that we can get that tomorrow without too much trouble. So now we're at 69 fish, 49 bugs, 34 sea creatures, 61 fossils, and still 2 pieces of art. Haven't seen red in a while, sadly, but progress on everything else has been very good. You got my Halloween costume? I'm not wearing that. Oh my god. And the headpiece. I can't. It is June at 9 p.m. We only need a Goliath beetle, a tiger prawn, and a man-faced stink bug before we're okay to move on to July. So we've now more than a little over 100 donations left. I have plans to knock out a large part of those remaining specimens in the month of July. Specifically, a lot of new bugs begin to spawn in July, including most of the cicadas and pretty much all of the rare palm tree beetles that I mentioned earlier. Fish as well have a lot of new catches, and there's less of a focus on deep sea diving now since we only have 5 of those left after acquiring the tiger prawn just now. Which means that today we're pretty much going to be full focus on daytime bugs and fish, with the entire time tomorrow being focused on bug catching. That's not to say that it's all about fish today though. I certainly won't turn my nose up at any new creature that shows up, no matter where it resides. Is it so much effort for you to get out of the pool, use the toilet, and then come back? Is it really that much effort? Let me list off the things that we're gonna try to catch at 9 a.m. in July. a sweet fish, a Napoleon fish, a puffer fish, an ocean sunfish, a grasshopper, a brown cicada, a robust cicada, a giant cicada, a cicada shell, a blue weevil beetle, an earth-boring dung beetle, a saw stag, a Mayama stag, a walking leaf, a moon jellyfish, and a giant isopod. It should be, like, very easy to just get all the cicadas pretty quickly. That's a robust cicada, I believe. Just fucking trained for this goddamn Napoleon fish for 100 years. I've tried to get this Napoleon fish. Well, maybe a little dramatic with the time frame there. We definitely are happy to see the Napoleon fish after searching for it for about an hour. Something else I expected to take a long time was the cicada shell. It looks like kind of a... Ooh, cicada shell. Dude, that's actually quite nice to get. I was like, I don't think you can scare them away, but if that was like a rare bug, I definitely would have scared that away. Add a fossil and a grasshopper to that, and that is a good bit of progress made today. Don't forget about this guy. Augers champion. Skipping right to next day, we're looking to finalize everything still remaining in the daytime hours of July. But first, we have red once again. I already see, I think, 2 real ones. I already see, I think the Mona Lisa's real, and I think that this tremendous statue is real. So that's another thing for the exhibit. Before we go all in on the nighttime beetles, the one thing holding us up is the giant isopod. By no means an easy catch at all. I feared that it would end up giving us as much grief as the Gigas giant clam would. Hilarious. Alright, cornering method. I guess I should have listened to chat. Cornering method, kinda undefeated. And with that done, we're free to travel to the wee morning hours to catch, well, a lot of bugs. Before we do that, though, we want to maximize our spawning rates for the rare beetle, so I'm going to dig up all the palm trees that we have on our island and bring them to the mystery island that we plan on using to farm up those bugs. I need a scarab beetle, I need a giant stag, I need a cyclomantis stag, I need a golden stag, giraffe stag, horned dynastid, horned atlas, horned elephant, horned Hercules, and a walking stick. You might also be wondering why we're doing this at 4 AM specifically. Well, that's because we're looking for the evening cicada and the walking stick as well, which necessitate time traveling to weird hours at night. So we should start getting most of these bugs pretty quickly, a couple even before we flew off to the mystery island. We quickly get our fossils inspected, and we're off. I mean, I kind of hate how this is Pear Island, because I'm pretty sure there's so many goddamn, like, trees on this island compared to usual. So, like, usual Nook Miles Island, so I'm gonna have to do, like, extra chopping, but I guess not a big deal. So, to prep the island, we're going to throw down the palm trees that we dug up, dig holes in the upper elevations so that we don't have any bugs spawning up there that I can't reach without laddering to, chop down trees, dig up stumps, pluck flowers, and just hope that we get everything quickly enough. We mentioned earlier that we'll worry about the Goliath beetle at a later time. Well, now's that time. Even though we've pruned this island to the 10s, we still have some bugs that spawn that we don't need, which is annoying. The tiger butterfly and the common bluebottle, for example. You might assume that because they're butterflies that they need flowers to spawn, but some can spawn without that restriction. So in order to make room for better bugs to spawn, we annoyingly have to catch everything that can't be scared away in order for it to be despawned to make room for better bugs. Either their family kinda... Nice! I didn't know those could spawn on palm trees. Okay. No. 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 I whapped it. I whapped the tree. I missed it. I missed it. That's gotta be like... Oh, that hurts. Oh. Missing that giraffe stag hurts because it's definitely one of the most difficult of all the beetles to catch. Along with this guy. What do you think about Brewster, sir? And I'm like, I think, Brewster is good. Wow, so brave, so true, bestie. Look, there we go, 246. Sweet! Beautiful. Didn't get inside my own head that time. So after vindicating myself from my previous blunder, we leave this island after another hour of searching for one bug that I did not manage to get, and that's the horned Hercules. Kinda sucks that we're leaving without being completely caught up, but we'll try again tomorrow. At the end of day 13, we're at 73 fish, 71 bugs, 37 sea creatures, 64 fossils, and 3 pieces of art. We're at 9 p.m. in July, so we gotta get a horseshoe crab. And we gotta get a Hercules beetle, which was the only beetle we managed to not get yesterday. If we get those things, then we will go to August, and we will get a soft-shelled turtle, a moray eel, a ray, a migratory locust, a rice grasshopper, a walker cicada, and a flatworm. If we get that, then we'll go to September, and we'll get a pike, a salmon, a king salmon, a mitten crab, a cricket, a bell cricket, a red dragonfly. If we get that, we'll go to September at 4 a.m., and get a monarch butterfly. If we get that, we'll go to October at 9 p.m. and get a spiny lobster. And we're done. After the spiny lobster, done. It felt surreal to say at the time, but indeed we are very close to being done with all of the catchable creatures that we can donate. While this video has only been about 50 minutes thus far, I'm up to almost 50 hours worth of effort into this challenge. Don't say youtube.com/Dagnel, don't spoil you now. Really though, it would take quite a bit of luck to get the Critterpedia done today on day 14, but it is theoretically possible. Before we work on getting the Hercules beetle that we failed to get yesterday, we do a little bit of diving in hopes of getting a horseshoe crab, a decently rare creature, but hopefully shouldn't be too bad. Nice. We get the island nice and pruned up once again to make it an ideal spawning area for rare beetles. And for scorpions. Were you any good at violin? No. No! No. I was not. Ooh. Oh my god. Dude. That didn't take long at all. Oh my god. What the fuck? Dude, that was so fast. That was so fast. Don't fuck it up. I am literally going to take this as slow and easy as possible. I'm going to take a step. I'm going to stop. I'm going to wait for him to move, which means that he is not scared away. We are going to catch him. We are going to go up to 250 creatures caught. That's everything. That's everything in July. Let's donate it and let's move on. So we're moving on now to August at 4 p.m. We can't finish any Critterpedia collections this month, but we can get pretty close. After we get a flatworm, we'll be 1 sea creature away from completing that collection. A lot of the bugs that we need this month are easy catches that shouldn't take us much time, and then we can move on to some of the harder tasks this month, such as trying to get a soft-shelled turtle. Hey, stop. Hey, stop. Stop. Dickhead. I get a lot of flack. Nice. After about 30 seconds, getting that. Okay. Dude, let's go. And then a little over a minute after getting that. That's news to me. I did not know that. So we're diving now, with the only thing that we need being the pretty common flatworm. Yeah, rabid, dude, but I don't know, justified at the same time. Nice. Alright, 256, boys, don't let it go. And just like that, August is completely done. So now we go to September at 5 p.m, and this is the month where we're hopefully going to finish the fish for sure. We only need a salmon, a king salmon, mitten crab, and a pike. Those are not gimme fish though, by any means. Bugs could get close to done as well. We already got a red dragonfly and a bell cricket, and we have to get a monarch butterfly this month as well. Oh, it's just a regular salmon, alright. All I'm saying is that if they wanted to sponsor me, my DMs are open. Ooh, pike. Okay, I was expecting a king salmon, but I'll take a pike. Of course. Of course. Absolutely. 260. Cricket. I farmed up a little bait because the king salmon was giving me some trouble. Raw. Them visceral sneezes right there. I think it's the king salmon. Nice. 261. So our last fish that we need, not technically a fish, is the mitten crab. I went ahead scanning my river looking for it, and found that Kevin was waiting there for me. He has fleas. Oh my god, he has fleas. Oh my god, we got a flea. Oh my god. We got a flea. Huge shoutouts to Kevin, the MVP of the run. Flo? Flo? She ain't done nothing for me. Waste of space. Get her out of here. The fly was crazy hard for me. I did get a fly without... My god. Now that's every fish. That's every fish. Wow. There you go. You'd think I'd have a pun for this occasion. The first collection of the museum is complete. Or so I thought. Now let's see if we've donated every fish. We've caught every fish. Have we donated every fish? He didn't say, which means I might have missed donating a fish. We got to go through every single fish here and see which one does not have the owl next to it. The giant snakehead. I didn't donate a giant snakehead. I didn't donate a giant snakehead. Wow, dude. Really? I mean, honestly, all things considered, giant snakehead is not like the worst thing. If that's the only thing I haven't donated, then that's not that bad, honestly. I'm a little bit mad at myself that I must have accidentally sold a giant snakehead after I caught it. By the way, in case you're wondering how you can tell if you've donated it, if it has that owl symbol right there, that means it's been donated. So, okay, giant snakehead. Guess we gotta go back and get one of those. When are those available? Shit. Damn it. What an idiot, man. June to August at 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. What a fucking dumbass I am, dude. Well, we all saw that coming. Let's go back to June to make up for our little mistake. Perspective, but from a content creator perspective, I'm glad that I can get paid. Nice. Finally. Luckily, it didn't take too long to get another giant snakehead, and with that, now we're done with fish. You found the missing piece to the museum's fish puzzle. Let's fucking go! Getting back on track now, we go back to September at any time between 4 a.m. and 5 p.m. to finish off our last bug, the monarch butterfly. Not a hard bug to find by any means, and this does prove to be true. I'll shill anything. Pretty much anything, really. Huh? So that means another gigantic dub. So now we have fish and bugs completed, leaving only sea creatures, fossils, and artwork. While we're working on my fossils, we spot a certain someone at our secret beach. Oh, nice. Okay, let me actually make note of this day here. Let's see what he's got for us. Yes. Real is right leg forward. Okay, so this is a real Valiant statue. After buying the Valiant statue, we now move on to the final month, where we will only need one more sea creature, and that's the spiny lobster. Available in October at 9 p.m., it's a tough catch, and it was getting pretty late in the day for me, so I thought I'd give it about 30 minutes before I call it quits and then try again tomorrow. I had been really lucky to even get close to completing my Critterpedia today, so no matter what, I was going to be happy when I logged off today. But it seems as though my luck was able to continue until the very end. Bro! We're done! We're done! We're done! That's everything! We got it all done today! I said that that was a stretch goal, and it was, but we did it! Everything! The entire Critterpedia is done. That's Pog, dude. That's Pog. Cap off my incredibly good day with 2 more fossils added to the collection. Oh, 2? Oh my god. So after day 14, we are done with our Critterpedia. 80 fish, 80 bugs, 40 sea creatures, 66 fossils, and 4 pieces of art. That leaves 7 fossils remaining and 39 pieces of art remaining before we are done with this challenge. So the process of grinding up our remaining artwork is actually much simpler than it sounds. Instead of having to find Red on a new day whenever I need him to stop by, we can keep reloading the same day that we know Red will be in town, and his stock will refresh every time. Here's how our order of operations will go for the remaining of the run. We find a day that Red is in town, we buy whatever we need from him that day. If we buy something from him, time travel to the next day and claim it from your mailbox. Donate it, time travel back to yesterday and his stock will be refreshed. If you don't buy something from Red, then you can quickly refresh his stock by time traveling to 4:59 a.m. that same morning, having the day roll over to 5 a.m., and he will still be there with a brand new selection. And we keep doing this until we have every piece of art, while collecting fossils every time we time travel to a new day, since we still need to complete that collection as well. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does, because this can be quite useful for you guys trying to complete your collections on your islands as well. Every day that Red shows up, we have a 10% chance that 3 of his artworks are real and 1 is fake, a 30% chance that 2 are real and 2 are fake, a 50% chance that 1 is real and 3 are fake, and a 10% chance that all 4 are fake. And every time that we get a real piece of art, there's a 20% chance that it's something that we still need to donate, which will definitely help us out a lot. Alright, boring technical speech over, let's settle into the rhythm here and knock out the rest of this challenge. You might also assume that since I haven't really been trying to get bells over the course of this run, that I might be a little strapped for cash when it comes to buying art. But I'm actually doing pretty good at saving up. You'd be surprised at how quickly you accumulate money after you've caught every single thing in the game. It's going to be quite the pain to find these last few fossils that we need at this point, but as soon as we finish them, we'll be able to focus just on artwork, saving us a lot of time. The flowery is always real, so it is my understanding that the flowery painting is the only real thing. So, okay, I mean, it would be kind of a shame to get all the stuff that's always real, and not ever get the things that are sometimes fake. Does this make sense? I don't know. I don't know if what I'm saying makes any sense whatsoever. But, yeah, I would rather get the stuff that has a fake variant so that I can save the stuff that's always real for later. I didn't really do a good job explaining it at the moment, but basically my logic is that I would rather buy something that has a fake variant rather than something that's always real. The more potential fake artwork that you get now, the less worried you are about having to get a fake variant of it in the future. The more artworks that are always real that you save for later should hopefully be good for us. I still don't think that's a great explanation, but basically I would rather buy something that has a fake variant than one that doesn't, assuming they're both available on the ship at the same time. Oh, dude, okay, we're getting pretty lucky with the fossils, man. I really was not anticipating having this much luck. But he's still finding things, man, despite the fact that we really don't have that many fossils left. So, Iguanodon tail and a flowery painting. One more thing added, 275. It's so unnerving. Yeah, I got a haunted one, dude. Oh, God, it's, like, unnerving. Sad to get something that's always real, because, again, you want to save more things that are always real for later, but, you know, you can't just not buy it, right? Because this Rockhead statue is real because he's not smiling. Will I get a piece of art from him? This time I will, because I will get the Rockhead statue. Yeah, we're gonna get this one. Let's see here. Let's hope we get lucky. We'd be pretty lucky to have a fossil that we haven't donated. Ooh. And yet. Now tell me, Mr. Blathers, how many fossils? 2? Oh, you shouldn't have. Oh, you shouldn't have. Sabertooth? Arkablopalopalopalop. Solemn painting? Ooh! Milady has her eyes closed. That is fake. Coffee stain in the top right is fake. This is real, but I've already donated it. And the ferret looks like a raccoon. It is fake. As time goes on, it'll become pretty common to enter Red's ship, see nothing we need, and refresh to the next day. We're still pretty early here, but it does suck to see. We finish up day 15 with a moving painting, a calm painting, scary painting, beautiful statue, wistful painting, and an ancient statue. I'm sorry that I'm not really commenting more on what's happening in this part of the run, but it really is just constantly refreshing Red stock. It's certainly not the most entertaining part of the run, that's for sure. So we got up to 18 pieces of art donated today, so 25 more to go. We added a few fossils today as well, totaling now 71 of 73 fossils donated and 27 total pieces remaining. Day 2 of art collecting and day 16 overall starts off nicely with a serene painting and a motherly statue. In this statue, I'm the mother. with the teats out, and the chat is the people who are suckling the content out of my content teats. This is a perfect statue representing the life of a content creator right here. Over the course of the next hour and a half or so, we managed to get a mystic statue, a glowing painting, a perfect painting, a worthy painting, a basic painting, an academic painting, an informative painting, and he found something. I think my fossils are done. Ooh, let's see here. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that this is definitely the last fossil that I needed. Along with the informative statue, the iguanodon torso. Let's see. So that will be at least one more here, so 300. It is! Let's go! The final fossil's been found. So the fossils are done. And we don't need to worry about doing laps around our island every day that we time travel to, meaning that this should hopefully speed up the process of art collecting. Then, over the course of another hour and a half, we get a sinking painting, a great statue, a scenic painting, a common painting, a familiar statue, a graceful painting, an amazing painting, and the right half to the wild painting. That wraps up day 16 with every single exhibit complete, except for the art, which has 7 pieces left. Hopefully. I can't promise anything. But we have 7 paintings to go. And at the rate that we did the artwork so far, we will definitely be on pace to be done today. It's unrealistic to expect that the rate with which we've gotten all the art so far will continue as more and more things get donated, but here's hoping. Pretty quickly into day 17, we get a detailed painting and a dynamic painting, the latter of which is always real. Someone had the great idea where I buy 2 pipes, drop one outside of my house, and another at the secret beach to eliminate the travel time between where I load in and red ship. That should help a lot. We get a warm painting, which is always real. We finish the wild painting with the real left half, and we get a mysterious painting as well. At this point, we only need a robust statue and a gallant statue. Statues are naturally rarer than paintings are already, since there are only 2 spots allocated for statues to show up in Red Ship, and add the fact that both of those have fake variants to them, and you'll realize that these last 2 are going to take quite a while to get, but we've already waited 59 hours. What's a couple more? Nookington's from Animal Crossing Wild World. He doesn't have a watch! He doesn't have a watch. He doesn't have a watch. Is there a watch on that wrist? Does he got that motherfucking thing on him? I don't see a watch. 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 That's real. That's real. That's a real robust statue. What are we looking for? Our last donation is a gallant statue. Hilariously, a PP statue. Interesting. Oh! The book! No! It has a book! No! No, no, no! It has a book! It's fake! Indeed, when David is holding a book, hey, eyes over here. That means that the statue is fake. Pain. Get a little detox going on. Then again, if this stream goes on long enough today, I am not streaming tomorrow. If I stream enough today to basically... Oh, let's go! Let's go! Let's go! He doesn't have a book! That's it! That's it! Let's go! Never mind, fuck that! I didn't say anything! We're done! What if I brought the wrong thing? What if I bought the wrong thing? What if I did it? I was here. I was here. So as soon as he says the museum is complete, we stop the timer and get the official timing. Make a donation. Sorry, we already have that donated. Fuck! Unless you are mistaken, that do be a gallant statue. That do be a gallant statue. Son of a bitch. While I gleefully trot through the now completed museum, I wanted to give a big thank you to everyone who's made it this far in the video. This is the culmination of 61 hours of recording and well over 20 hours of editing at this point, so it's easily my most ambitious project yet, and I think it turned out to be just as good in video format as it was when I streamed it live. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for everyone who watched live as well. This was all recorded over on my Twitch channel, and I plan on doing many more things over there that will make its way to YouTube as well. So, again, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it thoroughly, and leave suggestions in the comments for more Animal Crossing New Horizons challenges to do in the future. See you next time.